Have you ever been judged for something you own only to turn it into your best revenge moment? Well, buckle up because this story is about how my nosy HOA Karen tried to humiliate me for driving my old work truck until I rolled up with something she definitely didn't expect. Before we get started, I've got a quick question for you. Drop a comment with your location and the time where you are. I'd love to see where in the world you're tuning in from. I've always been proud of my home. Quiet corner lot, nice lawn, plenty of space. I moved into this HOA neighborhood thinking it would be peaceful. But as anyone who's dealt with an HOA before knows, it only takes one person to ruin that peace. Enter Karen. Mid-50s floral blouses, oversized sunglasses, and a permanent scowl. She ran the HOA like a personal kingdom. Rules, fines, and gossip were her weapons. My crime owning a 15-year-old Chevy Silverado. That truck wasn't flashy, but it was my workhorse. Reliable, paid off, and perfect for my contracting business. One day, I parked in my driveway after a long day hauling lumber. By the next morning, there was a bright orange violation notice stuck under my windshield wiper. Your vehicle does not meet neighborhood standards. It must be removed or replaced immediately. I thought it was a joke. My truck wasn't leaking oil. It wasn't rusted out. It was just old. But when I called the HOA office, Karen herself picked up. "Mr. Reynolds," she said in that smug tone. "Old commercial vehicles make the neighborhood look cheap. We have an image to maintain." I bit my tongue. "Karen, it's my personal vehicle. I live here. I pay my dues." She sighed dramatically. "Then maybe it's time you consider something more appropriate." Over the next week, I got 3 more warnings. Then came the fine. $250 for failure to comply. Every time I parked my truck outside, Karen would appear like a vulture, snapping pictures with her phone. Neighbors started whispering, some even agreeing with her. I could feel eyes on me every time I pulled into my driveway. I wasn't embarrassed, just irritated. That truck helped me build my life, my business, my home. But Karen wanted to make it a symbol of shame. Then came the final straw. One morning, I came out to find HOA tow stickers plastered on my windshield. She was trying to have my truck removed. That's when I decided enough was enough. If she wanted to play image games, I'd give her an image she wouldn't forget. You see, I'm not just a contractor. I've done well for myself. I keep things low-key, but I've invested smartly. And sitting in my garage under a car cover was my pride and joy. A Lamborghini Huracan, silver with black rims. It wasn't something I bragged about. It was my weekend ride, my treat-yourself purchase after years of hard work. But now it was going to be my revenge weapon. I had it detailed, shined, and ready. Then I waited for Karen's next HOA inspection day, the day she strutted through the neighborhood with her clipboard, pretending to keep order. That morning, I parked the Lamborghini right next to my old Silverado, both lined up perfectly in the driveway. The contrast was glorious. On one side, an old rugged work truck. On the other, a sleek, roaring supercar worth more than every car on the block combined. I even cleaned the truck, so it looked presentable. Old, yes, but cared for. Then I sat on my porch with a cup of coffee and waited. At exactly 9:30 a.m., Karen turned the corner, clipboard in hand, sunglasses perched on her nose, judgment in her stride. She saw the truck first. Her lips tightened. Then her eyes slid to the Lamborghini. She froze. Her jaw literally dropped. She stared for a full 5 seconds before walking up the driveway. "Mr. Reynolds, what is this?" she demanded, gesturing wildly. I shrugged casually. "Just my vehicles, Karen. That truck still violates the HOA code." I pointed to the Lamborghini. "Does that one violate it too?" She blinked, caught off guard. "Well, no, of course not. But what?" I interrupted, grinning. "You said my truck makes the neighborhood look cheap. So I thought I'd balance it out." A few neighbors peeked from their porches. Some were trying not to laugh. Karen's face turned bright red. "That's not funny," she hissed. "This is not how you handle community standards." I leaned back in my chair. "Karen, I pay my dues. I follow the real rules, and I'm not breaking a single one. You don't get to decide what I drive." She stormed off, muttering something about reporting this to the board. but I knew she'd already lost. Word spread fast. By the end of the week, everyone in the neighborhood knew about the guy with the truck and the Lumbo. And suddenly, everyone wanted to talk to me. Neighbors who used to avoid eye contact were suddenly curious. Hey man, nice car. Or, you really showed her. The HOA board called an urgent meeting. Karen tried to spin it as a violation of aesthetic harmony, whatever that meant. But the other board members weren't interested. They were tired of her nitpicking. One of them even said, Karen, if anything, his cars increased the property value. I almost laughed. A week later, I got an email from the HOA saying my fine was revoked and no further action would be taken. Apparently, they'd realized there was nothing in the bylaws about vehicle age, just condition and registration. Karen avoided me after that, but not for long. The neighborhood threw a small block party 2 weeks later. I parked the Lamborghini out front, doors up, letting kids take pictures with it. The Silverado sat proudly right beside it. Karen showed up late, pretending to be friendly. Oh, I see you brought your cars, she said stiffly. Of course, I smiled. They're both part of the neighborhood now. A few people laughed. Karen forced a smile and walked away. The best part, a month later, her own car, a beige SUV, got a warning for faded paint from another board member. Apparently, she wasn't immune to her own rules anymore. Karma served in metallic silver. After that, things quieted down. I kept both vehicles. I still drive my old truck daily. It's reliable. It's mine. And it reminds me where I came from. The Lamborghini. That's my reminder that sometimes the best revenge is just proving people wrong without losing your cool. Karen eventually stepped down from the HOA board for personal reasons. Translation: she got tired of everyone reminding her how she picked a fight with a guy who owned a Lamborghini. To this day, whenever I wash my cars, I can't help but chuckle because that's what happens when someone tries to measure your worth by appearances. You show them substance and style. And that, my friends, is how I turned an HOA Karen's obsession with neighborhood standards into the best moment of poetic justice I've ever had. If you've ever dealt with a nosy HOA or someone who thinks they can tell you how to live, you know exactly how good that felt. Thanks for listening to my story. If you enjoyed it, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and drop your thoughts in the comments below. And hey, don't forget to tell me what kind of car do you drive, and has anyone ever judged you for?